Good morning, my dear students. Welcome back to Samagra Shiksha online classes, Vijayanagaram district. Before going to the class, first I am telling about myself. I am Rajni, working at KGBV Badangi in Vijayanagaram district. I am dealing the subject of biological science. In the time of COVID-19 pandemic situation, it is important to take care everyone. Wear mask and maintain social distance, and also wash your hands regularly with the help of soap, and also use sanitizers. Okay children, in our previous biology class we are already completed cell, its structure and functions, plant tissues, animal tissues. Now we are going to learn about our 9th class 4th chapter, plasma membrane. All the organisms in the world are made up of cells. You know that cell is the basic unit of life. You have learnt about different parts of the cell and their specific duties in the chapter structure and functions of the cell. Let us know about plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is very important cell organelle which provides the structure of the cell, and it also separates the cytoplasm from the external environment. The term cell membrane was coined by C. Nageli and C. Kramer. C. Nageli and C. Kramer in 1855. And the term plasma membrane has been given by the J.Q. Clove in 1931. Plasma membrane is the semi-permeable membrane and have thin double-layered structure. This is structured by lipids and proteins, and these are surrounds almost every living cell. The plasma membrane that containing almost every living cell that containing plasma membrane, and all biological membranes present in the cell. For example, eukaryotic cells that containing many cell organelles. These cell organelles, for example, endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus, mitochondria, and chloroplast, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, ribosomes, these are all surrounded by the plasma membrane. So, it is very, very important membrane. It is very interesting to know how substances pass through the cells. There is a wonderful mechanism is there. Let us learn. Okay, some substances must be entered into the cell. For example, oxygen, glucose, these are enters into the cell and used by the cell for doing biological processes. And some substances, for example, carbon dioxide, waste materials, or should go out of the cell. Why we exit these substances? Why? Because these are harmful to us. So these substances should go out of the cell. In this way, the plasma membrane is very helpful to the organisms. And to understand the entry or exit of the substances through the cell or the plasma membrane, let us do the following activities. Okay children, for doing these activities we have to prepare different solutions. So we try to prepare these solutions. Preparing solutions. First of all, we prepare sugar solution or salt solution. For this activity, we want sugar and water and 3 beakers. First of all, take 100 ml of water in a beaker and add sugar and salt and stir well. The sugar is dissolved. Repeat it till the little amount of sugar is left at the bottom of the beaker, which will not dissolve. So the saturated sugar solution is ready. When a little amount of sugar or salt is remaining at the bottom of the beaker, that's tells us that solution is a saturated solution. And we know the concentrated solutions and which one is more concentrated and which one is less concentrated. So for this activity we need 3 beakers, and we take 3 beakers full of with 100 ml of water in each, and add half teaspoon full of sugar to the first beaker and 1 teaspoonful of sugar in the second beaker and 1.5 teaspoonful of sugar in the third beaker. Compare the 3 solutions and answer the following. The solution of which beaker will be most sugary and what is the reason? Yes, the third beaker solution is the more concentrated. Why? Because we add 1.5 spoon sugar. Okay, can we convert the solutions of beaker 1 into solution of beaker 3? How can we make the solutions of third beaker indicating to that of the first beaker? And how much water should be added to the solution in the third beaker to make to similar to the solution of the first beaker? Okay, we add 1 spoon sugar to the first beaker. When we added 1 spoon sugar to the first beaker, it is similar to the third beaker. And then we add 200 ml water to the third beaker. Then we make to similar to the first beaker. Okay, solutions with different amount of solute dissolved in them are solutions. In these solutions, the sugar is the solute and the water is the solvent. So what is solute And what is solvent? Solute. Solute means the minor component in a solution. The minor component in a solution dissolved in the solvent. The minor component in a solution dissolved in the solvent is called solute. And the solvent. Solvent means the liquid can able to dissolve other substances. The liquid that can able to dissolve other substances is known as solvent. Okay, what is solution? Solution means a liquid mixture in which the solute is uniformly distributed within the solvent. So the solution means a liquid mixture in which the solute is uniformly distributed within the solvent is known as solution. Solution equal to solute plus solvent. Okay, let us do an activity, observation of materials in different solutions by using this concentrated sugar solution. The materials that required for this activity: beaker, water, concentrated sugar solution and dry kismis or raisins. Let us begin the activity. Take a beaker and fill half of the pot with water and put 6 to 7 raisins and then leave it 5 to 6 hours and observe the changes in dry kismis. What do you observe? All the dry kismis in the beaker are swollen. The size of the kismis will increase and much bigger than the real dry kismis. That we understand much better, that we do another activity. Take another beaker filled with concentrated sugar solution. Now add swollen raisins in it and leave the beaker 5 to 6 hours. Now let us observe the swollen kismis. Look the kismis. The swollen kismis are the shrinks. This means that the size and volume of the kismis has decreased. Now it is observed the changes in both cases. Let us look the changes. In these activities, the kismis resembles as cell and has outer membrane that allows water molecules through it. Due to difference in both concentrations, the water has less concentration and the dry kismis has more or high concentration, that having hypertonic cytoplasm. So it results the water enters from beaker to dry kismis. This is the reason when we kept the dry kismis into the water, then the kismis will swollen. In the second case, we take the swollen kismis that kept in concentrated sugar solution. They shrinks. Here the medium of sugar solution is hypertonic or concentrated, and the kismis that contain less concentration. Due to difference in concentrations, the water molecules in the swollen kismis comes out and goes into the sugar solution, so that the swollen kismis shrinks. For these activities, we conclude when we kept raisins in water, the kismis are swollen. and we kept kismis in sugar solution, the kismis will be shrinks because of the difference in solutions. In these activities, the water moves through membrane from lesser concentration to higher concentrations. That is called osmosis. Osmosis is very important process. That means the movement of water through membrane from less solute concentration to more solute concentration. To understand this osmosis, we can do another osmosis activity. Potato cup experiment. By using potato, we can easily understand the osmosis process. For this experiment, we required some materials such as potato, sugar, knife, spoon, dropper, bell pin, petri dish and water. Procedure. Take a fresh raw potato and cut it into cube shape. Now make it as a cup. Make a potato cup from it. Prepare a few amount of saturated or concentrated sugar solution and keep the potato cup in a petri dish and then fill half of the potato cup with sugar solution and mark the level by pressing a pin. Then pour water into the petri dish. Carefully observe the water level in both potato cup and petri dish and leave it for 1 or 2 hours. Observe carefully. What happened here? The water level increased in potato and decreased in petri dish. The water level increased in potato cup and decreased in petri dish. In the above observation, water level increased in potato cup while decreased in petri dish. This indicates water molecules enter into the potato cup from the petri dish. Repeat the above experiment by taking sugar solution in petri dish and water in the potato cup and pressing the pin to the water level in the potato cup. Observe the water levels in both potato cup and petri dish and leave it for 1 to 2 hours. Children, observe carefully. What will happen here? The water level decreased in potato cup and increased in petri dish. In second observation, water level decreased in potato cup while increased in petri dish. This indicates water molecules enters into petri dish from potato cup. In these two situations, the water molecules move from low concentration point to high concentration point through a semi-permeable membrane without using any energy. Without using any energy, the water molecules move from one concentrated solution to another concentration solution. So less concentration to high concentrated solutions. So this potato cup experiment proves the process of osmosis. Okay children, you are also doing this activity at your home and observe osmosis process and how to transports water through plasma membrane. Okay. The membrane that allows water is called permeable membrane. So the plasma membrane is also called as permeable membrane. To understand how materials may be moving in and out of the cells through the cell membrane, let us do the following activity. Okay. That activity is filtration process. In this experiment, we shall demonstrate the process of filtration by using a filter paper. For this we need a mixture of wheat flour, glass, filter paper and funnel. First of all, take a filter paper in the form of cone, fold in the form of cone and fixed on the funnel. Then pour the mixture of wheat flour and water on the filter paper. And wait for some time and observe it. What do you see? The clear water passes through the filter paper and is collected in the glass. We observe the water comes out of the filter paper in drop by drop. Observe children. This water is collected in the glass. The water is in very clear. The water comes out of the filter paper and that paper contains small pores. Through these pores, the water is coming outside, and we observe the wheat flour particles can't pass through the filter paper. Observe carefully. The wheat flour should not come out of the filter paper. This remains on the filter paper. This is because of pores that containing in the filter paper can allow some particles only. The smaller substances goes through the filter paper and the bigger particles remains on the filter paper. Like that, the plasma membrane also have small pores and allows dissolved particles only. and should not allow bigger particles. So, the plasma membrane also called permeable membrane. The plasma membrane also called permeable membrane. Plasma membrane determines what substances are allowed entry or exit from cells. So, it is also called selectively permeable membrane. The plasma membrane should select the which substances are enters and which substances are exit from the cell. So, it is called selectively permeable membrane. Students, next we knowing about functions of the plasma membrane. Functions of the plasma membrane. First one is the shape. The plasma membrane provides a definite shape to the cell and semi-fluid contents of the cell. And second one, it acts as a mechanical barrier. It functions as a mechanical barrier that protects the internal contents of the cell. Third function is, we are already knowing about selectively permeability. The membrane determines what substances to be allowed or entry or exit from the cell. This is called selectively permeability. This is also done by the plasma membrane. And fourth one is the endocytosis. What is endocytosis? The flexibility of the membrane enables the cell to engulf food and other substances or foreign particles from the external environment by endocytosis. For example, amoeba. The amoeba takes food through its cell wall or cell membrane. So, this is called endocytosis. And recognition. It has substances over surface which functions as recognized centers and points of attachment. They help in tissue formation and distinction of foreign substances and define against microbes. So, this recognizes the substances. And next, flow of information. The plasma membrane also provides and flow of information among different cells of the same organisms. For example, human neurons. The neurons are attached one to another and flow information from one cell to another cell through plasma membrane. And osmosis, we already do the activities of osmosis. The osmosis occurs due to the presence of tiny water channels in the plasma membrane. And cell continuity. At places, plasma membrane of adjacent cells become continuous to form plasmodesmata and cell junctions. And specialization. Plasma membrane gets modified to perform different functions. So, with the help of plasma membrane, some cells absorbs food materials and some cells are helpful to flow of information and flow of water, nutrients, and in our digestive system microvilli present in the small intestine. These microvilli are helpful to absorption of the nutrients. Like that, the plasma membrane are also helpful to make a specialized character to the cell. So in this way, the plasma membrane can help us every function of our body. You already learnt about animal cell. Now let us do another activity to understand the movement of water in animals. Before doing activity, once again we recall about osmosis. The movement of water molecules from low concentration point to high concentration point through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. This transportation does not require energy. For doing this experiment, we need some materials: HCl, 2 beakers, cloth, 2 raw eggs, spoon, a strip of paper and salt. These are the required materials for doing this experiment. First, we have to prepare dilute HCl solution in 2 beakers. Then keep 2 raw eggs in dilute HCl solution for 4 to 5 hours. Children, observe carefully. What happening here? Yes, the gas bubbles are evolved from the eggshells. Why does the gas bubbles are evolving from the eggshell? Eggshell made up of calcium carbonate and it reacts with acid to form calcium chloride and gives carbon dioxide gas. So these gas bubbles are carbon dioxide gas. Due to this reaction, within 4 to 5 hours, the eggshell dissolves in diluted hydrochloric acid. Hence, we got eggshells without shell. Okay, children. After 5 hours, carefully take out the eggs by using a spoon and then wash the eggs in tap water and wipe them by using a cloth carefully. From here, we must handle the eggs with care. This is the precaution. Why? Because now the eggs are without shell. These eggs surrounded by a thin layer called plasma membrane. This membrane acts as semi-permeable membrane. Now measure the circumferences of each egg with a long strip of paper and mark on the paper with a pen. Here the size of both eggs are same. And next, take 2 beakers and prepare concentrated salt solution or sugar solution. in one beaker and take fresh water in another beaker. Place one egg in the salt water while another egg in fresh water. Leave it for 4 to 5 hours. After 5 hours, observe carefully. The egg placed in the concentrated salt solution shrinks and the egg placed in the tap water swells. Take out the eggs from beakers and measure their circumferences with the same strip of paper. Observe carefully. The size of egg placed in salt water decreased, while the size of egg placed in the tap water increased. Why does the shrinking or swelling takes place? Yes, this occurs due to osmosis. In the first beaker, salt water is more concentrated than albumin present in the egg. These two solutions are separated by egg's membrane or plasma membrane. Already we know that egg membrane acts as semi-permeable membrane. Hence, water molecules move from low concentration to high concentration. The water molecules move from low concentration, that is albumin, to high concentration point, that is salt water, so that the egg present in salt water shrinks. While in the second beaker, albumin present in the egg is more concentrated than fresh water. Hence, water molecules move from fresh water to albumin, so that the egg present in the fresh water swells. In the first situation, water molecules leave the cell. This process is called exosmosis. In the second situation, water molecules enters into the cell. This process is called endosmosis. So, the osmosis plays a major role in absorption of water by root hair. The root hair grows out between the places between the soil particles. Root hairs are surrounded by moisture. Soil water is more dilute than the cell sap. So, the water enters from low concentration from soil to root hair. The water moves through the osmosis process, and water moves between cells is also done through the osmosis, with the help of osmosis. And the osmosis also helps opening and closing of stomata. The stomata are opens and closing because of the osmosis, and it brings about movement of water and minerals in certain plants. In our body, waste materials are also filtered from the blood because of the osmosis process. And in our body, useful materials are absorbed along with the water through osmosis. So these are the importance of osmosis process. Do you understood, children? Okay. Now let us learn about another process called diffusion. There are other ways in which materials move in a medium. Let us study one such process by the following activity. If a bottle of scent is opened in one corner of a room, what will happen? How do we feel? Yes, the scent smell spreads over all the room, entire room. The scent spreads. How do the scent spread entire room? Let us think of some questions. How does the smell spread in the entire room? Is the smell spreading uniformly in the entire room? Can you reach the scent bottle if you are blindfolded? When blindfolded, how you are able to locate the scent bottle? Can you give any other such examples? For knowing the answers of these questions, we know some more process, that is diffusion. Diffusion, the process by which some materials, when kept in a medium like air and water, it spreads equally throughout, is called diffusion. Once again I will repeat, the process by which some materials, when kept in a medium, spreads equally throughout, is called diffusion. For knowing about this process, we do some activities. Diffusion in coffee powder. Take a glass of hot water and add a spoon of coffee powder. What will happen here? The coffee powder spreads entire glass of water. So this is called diffusion. The molecules, the coffee powder molecules spreads entire glass of water. This is called diffusion. Our next activity is diffusion in potassium permanganate. First of all, we keep water in petri dish and add potassium permanganate crystal at the middle of the petri dish. Potassium permanganate crystal is dissolved in the water. The dissolved molecules move from an area of high concentration area to low concentration area spontaneously. And we observe the high concentration area is at the middle. and the low concentration area is at peripheral side. This continuously dissolved peripherally. Okay children, what about diffusion in warm versus cold water? Which will be in quicker? The diffusion takes place quicker in warm water when we compare it to cold water. Observe carefully children. The diffusion takes place first of all starts at the middle of the petri dish and the molecules spread uniformly to the peripheral side. Up to overall petri dish water is same in color. The diffusion takes continuously throughout the petri dish and molecule spreads uniformly. Next we can do the diffusion activity with copper sulfate crystals. For doing this activity we need copper sulfate crystals and water and also petri dish. First of all we take a petri dish and keep the copper sulfate salt at the middle of the petri dish. Now add water carefully and fill the petri dish with water. Okay children, carefully observe. The diffusion occurs in the petri dish. The copper sulfate is blue in colored and the copper sulfate molecules spreads throughout the petri dish and looks like a sky blue colored water. Okay children, I hope you understand about diffusion process. In our daily life we also observed diffusion process. want to give a small homework for you. How diffusion is useful in our daily life, and give some examples of daily life activities in which osmosis is involved, and try to do osmosis and diffusion activities and note down your experiences while doing these activities. I hope you understood the class, children. I would thankful to Samagra Shiksha Andhra Pradesh, and I also thankful to all students who are watches this video. Thank you very much.